You are so stupid. Oh, no, not the Ford S-Max, no. No, the numpty bollocks in this situation is very much the organic bit of it, not the 2006 Ford S-Max Titanium 2.5 T. No, it is not this car's fault. Context. I'll give you context. So this is a family car that we have had as a family. Yeah, I'll leave that in, screw it. This is a car that we've had as a family for 10 years. We've kept a family car, the same car, for 10 years straight. So although I might slag this car off occasionally and say flawed instead of Ford, if it's been here 10 years, it's probably been quite a good car, hasn't it? Yes, it has been quite a good car. I'm quite fond of this car and I'm quite sad to see it go. But I'm happy because it's going to a viewer. A viewer has put a deposit on this car. He didn't haggle. He didn't try and chip me down like all the other morons on Facebook Marketplace whose opening line in a message is £800. I was like, do you not want to see it first? No, God will bless you if you sell it to me for £800. Really? Okay. Well, yeah, he hasn't done that. He's just gone and goes, yeah, screw it, I'll have it. So I said, well, look, you've not chipped me, you've not haggled. There was a couple of bits he was concerned about because there's a few things that need doing on this. It had a bit of a War and Peace advert. I put spares or repair technically. I think it's probably a bit better than that, but I just thought go in negative and hopefully someone is pleased with what they bought rather than upset with what they bought. And so, yeah, he's put a deposit on it. And I said, well, you've not haggled or anything. There was a couple of bits he was concerned about. I said, let me put another MOT on it for you. The MOT on it expires in May, meaning that if I were to put it through an MOT now, it would actually lose a month of its existing MOT. It won't carry on because it's not close enough, but it doesn't matter. It means it's got a year's ticket on it for him to go off and do whatever he's going to do with it. I don't know. Transport people at speed, I imagine. So we stuck it in for an MOT and it failed. It fell over on its face and it failed on three things. Number one, the central seatbelt. The buckle doesn't latch, which is embarrassing because my kid told me that a long time ago. Well, actually, you could get it in. It did. You could put it in, but you had to push the button down and that fails an MOT. So the other thing that was embarrassing was the track rod end on the driver's side front had come loose, the lock nut. Again, I don't know why that is. That's happened before. So I've got a spanner. I don't know if the spanner I used is still on the ramp. Yes, it is. It ain't coming undone now. So that's done. The third thing it failed on was rust, which surprised me because on the near side rear corner here, it failed on corrosion within the 300mm of a subframe mounting or major component, which surprised me, as I say, because I welded that. I've done that bit. I did weld it, didn't I? It's a bit dark and gloomy here with the S-Max because it's blocking all the windows because it's so big. But so yes, I did weld it. I mean, admittedly, it's not the prettiest. There. And I thought, well, it was a bit of a rush job. So I thought, that's really strange. Why is that failed? Oh. Ah. Right, yeah, I've done something wrong there. So what's actually happened is, this is a cardboard tube. It has nothing to do with that at all. What's actually happened is I haven't finished it. Sometimes you just have to put your hands up and say, I'm an idiot. It happens to all of us. It happens to the best of us. There will be people watching this who've done something on a car and it's really dumb and it's really bugged them and they're going to think, why have I done that? Well, it's not just you. It happens to me. I am technically a professional. So before I stand here and try and, completely ruin any kind of reputation or integrity that I have in the automotive and motor trade world, I'll explain how this has happened. So basically, first off, this is my own car. Well, it's not my own car, it's my wife's car, but this is our car, which basically means it has to fight for ramp space. All the other cars that come in on here are customers' cars, and which I'm working on all the time, pretty much. But being one of our own cars, they always say, don't buy a car off a mechanic. Apart from the guy who's put a deposit on this, you should. My wife's not a mechanic. Yeah. Don't buy a car off a mechanic because they never have time to work on their own cars. They never have time to keep on top of them. So basically what happened, I believe, last October, we were going on holiday. We had a trip booked. We had a very stressful year. 2024 was a shit year. 2025 is shaping up to be even worse. And we had a holiday booked, and we thought we could really do with this holiday right now. It was a week away in France. Tunnel was booked, blah, blah, blah. And the day before we went, I came in here, put the S-Max on the ramp, and just ran underneath it, just check it all over, because you don't want to break down in France. And this thing we've taken it on quite a few trips to France. It's done a few miles with us all in there, fully loaded. It's been around Nürburgring with us. It's been to Le Mans, it's been to Spa, it's been all over the place. We've had some good, it's actually a very good motorway cruiser. It's a very good mile muncher, this thing. And I thought I'd just give it a check over before we go. And I don't remember how it happened, but basically I ended up putting my fist through the sill. I think I was just blowing out crud that had collected in the arch, you know. I don't remember how it happened, but I put my fist through the sill. And I thought, not the end of the world. It's only the outer sill. It's not the hardest thing to change. It's a 20-year-old car. But I'm on the Eurotunnel tomorrow, like 18 hours later. And we have to fully load this and everything the night before and keep everyone calm, including my wife, who's already freaking about going. Because, like, you know, you just worry about things. When you've had a year like we've had, you worry about anything going wrong. And the last time we took this car to France, in fairness, it did break down. We've since fixed it and found out what the problem was, but we did have a mechanical issue. And, in fact, the time before that, we didn't take it to France because it broke down on the way. So we had to... I'm not selling this car very well, am I? Well, basically, that was the same issue both times, and it's just the diagnostic computer couldn't figure out what the issue was. And a £45 fuel rail pressure sensor later, she runs a treat. So, yeah, it went around France last time, good as gold. But she was freaking out, I was freaking out, put my fist through the sill, not good. So I did a rush repair on the sill, you can see where this is going, and thought, right, that'll be enough to get it on the tunnel, to get it around France. Because you can't drive around with a hole in the sill. And then when I come back, I'll finish it. I'll get the wheel off, because I did this with the wheel on. I'll get the wheel off, and I'll get right in there and cut out all that bit around the back of it and just sort it all out. So that was October. It's now April. Yeah. So I've just had a message from my OVERBORE co-host, OVERBORE podcast, which you can subscribe to. I'll put a link in the thing. It's basically just me talking and him about new cars and old cars. And he said, I've just written in this copy about a leak down test. Is that an accurate description of what it is or does, or have I missed something? Should we stitch him up? Because this is going in the Telegraph. So should we say, no, you actually need a dildo test? The S-Max. So, yes. I can't remember what I was saying. It doesn't matter. So basically, I've rushed to get it done and then forgotten, and there's actually a silver lining in the cloud, because I put this car up for sale a couple of months ago, and as I say, all I've had so far is morons, basically, because I haven't actually put it on Auto Trader or eBay or anything, because you have to pay money for that. So I've just had morons on Facebook, apart from the guy who's put a deposit on it. He's the only legit one who's come through. No, there's one other, and I didn't get back to him, in fairness. There is a cloud here, the silver lining in the cloud, because had any of those people bought the car, and I've said in that advert, I mean, I might have even said, like, the welding might need finishing, like prettying up and finishing. I can't remember if I said that or not. Basically, what I meant is it has no filler on it. You can see the weld marks and stuff. It's not, I haven't finished grinding it. It was done so fast, and the paint that's thrown on was like enamel that goes on wood and metal, like brush on stuff. Ronseal or something like that. Is it Ronseal? Can't remember what make it is. It's not car paint. It was just literally red. And yeah, basically, long story short, if I'd sold it, I'd have had problems, because someone would have come, they would have brought that back, I think. And I've dodged a bullet. I've also dodged a bullet not selling a car that had a loose track rod end or a seatbelt that didn't work, because I didn't put any of those things in the description. So it's kind of helped me in a way. But it's also embarrassed me, made me feel really bad. So I'm going to sort it now. I'm not going to film it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It'd be kind of boring. I'll show you it, maybe, well, I'll show you the end of it. And if I get a chance to show you halfway through, I'll show you halfway through. But now I'm going to take the wheel off and actually finish what I started back in the autumn.
3 hours later.
Okay, so a little bit of time has passed, and I haven't actually repaired the car. It is now a good few hours, well, no, maybe not that much, several hours, since I last spoke to you. Although it's minutes in real time on here. But stop waffling, are you talking too much? Do more on the car, do more work, why are you talking? Basically, there's been a development, and it's not a positive development. So the rust that I thought had failed the MOT, that I was poking fun at myself for, I don't actually think that's what failed the MOT. I think what actually failed the MOT is the twatting great hole in the chassis leg where the rear subframe mounts. See, I thought the bit they'd failed it on was this. Because that's the repair piece, is the piece behind that. That's original, that's not in there. And I hadn't finished doing this bit up here. And in fact, that's sealant that I put in, which is, I admit, not good. But I put that in there because we were running low on time and we had to get to the ferry. No, not the ferry, the train. And yeah, I was going to repair that and I forgot. So that's what the inside of the sill looks like. Which, to be fair, it's not actually. It's pretty solid. looking at that. But what has actually happened, I've managed to get a bolt out. And look at the condition of it. That has no right being on Ford. That one also came undone. So I'll just check some of the others, basically. I'll check the others out. So yeah, if those come under, that bolt there, the one on the other side, that one, blah, blah, blah. Then you've got all the grief with undoing it. You've got to take the springs out and just getting the subframe out of the way so you can get to the body above it is going to be hard enough. So I just don't know if this is going to happen. I'd love to do right by the car, but I'll just see. I'll just keep going on some of the other fixings and see what happens. Okay, so I've just gone rust hunting. I appreciate that looks a lot worse than it actually is, but that gap there is supposed to be there. So there's a bit missing here. In fact, no, it's not really even that. It's sort of along there. It's this bit here, basically. So that's the inside of the carpet. I've taken away my the bit I didn't finish, which is kind of embarrassing. So yeah, there's a bit here that needs doing across the back there, if I were to do this, which I'm not entirely convinced I will. Ooh. Yeah, so that needs finishing. And then I've had a look under here, and I've found more the other side of the mount. So I've managed to go up the other side. Does it work better without the light? Yeah, I think it does. Nope. Oh dear. There you go. You can see it there. So that's on the other side of the mount there. All four mounts have come undone. So they've all come undone. The bolts are in good condition. These were a nightmare. I think I might have covered them in Loctite. I've now cleaned that off and just put some oil in there in case they come apart again. I don't entirely know. Tell me that's not a cracked subframe. Right, I have a feeling this car is... Yeah, this car's dead. No, this car's dead. There was a minute where I thought, oh, we might be able to save this, but this is just getting silly. He's offered me more money for it, basically. He's offered me more money for the car in a fixed condition. I mean, it's got a little bit there. Well, that's just the little end bit. It's only structural about here onwards, so that's just for looks. But yeah, it's still more work, isn't it? He's offered me more money, but the subframe's rusted. Where'd you stop? I mean, if I even tried welding the subframe up, if it was just that bit. Oh, God. See, is the MOT even fit for purpose, right? Because all I've gone at with that is a screwdriver and a hammer, and I've just been tapping. I haven't been smacking it. I've been smacking this side, And funnily enough, ironically, that side is making a nice ching 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 noise, like it's there's nothing wrong with it. This side is rotten all the way around here. Look at that. But the MOT didn't pick that up. And that's not because the MOT guy's rubbish. He's not allowed to hit it, or she. No, well, it is a he. I'm not being sexist. It is a he. I know it's a he. He's not allowed to go hitting it. Well, he should be, because look. R.I.P. Sweet Prince, I think it is your time. Because this is getting silly. I mean, to repair that, yes, I could repair it. But where do you stop? And the guy's offered me a bit more money. It's not that much more money. And breaking it would be an absolute pain. But at the same time, I think it's going to be where we're at. I think we're going to be breaking it. Because it's just, I mean, how much more of this? I was going to say, is the front going to be like it? But it won't, because it's a Ford. So it'll be, no, it's aluminium, in fairness. So, no. Is it aluminium? Oh, no, it's not. No, it is still. It just looks like aluminium. And new drive shafts I put in, I've put loads of effort into. It's all quite good, otherwise. No, the engine's all tidy, clean. Oh man, I'm annoyed. Went round the Nürburgring, this thing. It's dead, isn't it? Come on, be sensible. It said, I just don't want the hassle of breaking it. And you could say, well, just scrap it then. Because scrap it's worth like 300-400 quid. Breaking it, it's probably worth 1,500 quid. It's a lot of work, but it's 1,500 quid. Yeah, so this video's just been kind of a bit all over the place, hasn't it, really? So it started as me going, I'm an idiot. In fact, the thumbnail was just going to be idiot. That's all it was going to say. And it was going to start as me being an idiot because I'd put in a car for an MOT and forgotten about a bit I hadn't finished welding. But it turns out that's not the bit that actually failed. That did pass, technically. It's kind of the bigger problem of the big hole in the chassis leg that the subframe is attached to. So, yeah, I mean, I looked into undoing the bolts on the subframe, dropping it down, you know, repairing that, but I could do that. And then I found that the subframe was rusted and fractured on the right-hand side. You can't just weld subframes. There are rules. You are not allowed to do plated weld repairs on subframes. That would technically fail an MOT. On a subframe, the right and proper thing to do is to replace it, is to buy a new one. Because, well, long story short, you know, their subframes are spot welded together. Normally they're made of different sections that are spot welded together. They are designed to have a certain amount of movement and flex in them. If they were 100% rigid, they would fracture. So that, you know, you can't just go seam welding bits into it because that could then fracture again. That's what they think of with MOTs. There is a school of thought that suggests that you could probably, if you were to remove the entire subframe, shot blast it to highlight every area that it needs, and then just do like the smallest repairs you can, instead of cutting out big chunks. As long as you're happy that it's structurally okay and there's just one area where there's rust, you could cut that bit out and let in a new piece of metal and sort of replicate the welds as they were, and then paint the whole thing up, blah, 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 and basically make it so that it's not obvious it's been repaired. And most MOT testers will use common sense in situations like that and think, well, that's been done properly. You can't always buy a new subframe. You might still be able to buy subframes for these, in fairness. Don't know, maybe. It's quite old. But a lot of cars you can't. You have to repair them. I've done it on BXs. I've put BXs in for MOTs before. And you can't just slap in a repair plate. You have to take it apart and do it properly. Show willing, you know, even down to the point of sort of doing, I can't do spot welds, I haven't got a spot welder, but doing puddle welds where you'd have spot welds in the places that you'd have spot welds along the seams, seam welding in the bits where it's just one piece. You know, yeah, you're never going to get it exactly the same as a factory part, but you can show willing and try and get it as close as possible. And, you know, in the real world, realistically, that's a hell of a lot safer than a lot of the stuff that goes through MOTs. The fact is, to me, the MOT isn't even fit for purpose, because that subframe is weakened. That arm that hangs off the bit where that is that's rusted, it's got a tie bar that comes off the side and goes to the offside rear wheel. That gets put under a lot of stress. That stops the wheel doing this, basically. It stops the top of the tyre coming out. So every time you go over a bump round a corner, that's getting pushed and pulled. And So basically, long story short, this video that has no direction, that's ended up being, I've discovered that the car is knackered, has basically been, well, the death sentence for the S-Max, because, I mean, if you don't follow the channel, well, even if you follow the channel, you won't see this car very often, but it has featured in a few videos. I did want to do another video. I wanted to do a test drive video, driving the thing around, and sort of like, because I think this is genuinely one of the best cars Ford made, but I can't do that now. I'll have to borrow an S-Max to do that. Hubnut drove this one as well. There's a Hubnut video on this. That was a long time ago, before it was rusted through. So, yeah, I'm kind of sad. That was actually a 30th birthday present, that car, to my wife. 10 years ago. That says how old she is. She's younger than me, it's fine. Rambling now. You know, if you don't watch... If you're new to this channel, well, you'll know the kind of nature. You won't know the kind of nature, sorry, these videos take. But yeah, this car not really featured much, but we've had this car 10 years, and it's been a faithful servant. It's been a good family steed. We've kept a family car for 10 years. So there was a point where my youngest was a toddler in this, and now he's got a little tash growing. Yeah, I think it's dead. Funny how you get attached to cars that are just tools for the job, isn't it? Well, yeah, there's no point going on. I've messaged the guy. I suspect he'll end up refunding his deposit. You know, he can't. It's just, yeah. To repair all that properly, it's going to double the price of the car. The amount of time it's going to take, you'd have to shot blast the subframe. You've got to remove every single arm from it. How many of those bolts are going to come undone? And then how many of those bushes are going to be fit to go back in? They'll probably have to be renewed. It's just a project now. This is the level of work you get to when you have a classic or a project car. This is not a classic or project car. This is a family car or everyday car that's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, a little bit interesting, but it is just an everyday car, and it's probably never going to be a classic car. I mean, maybe one day, but no, it's the wrong time, and with everything we've got going on in our personal life, we unfortunately just cannot take this on. Because my wife's Saxo, we found out, is also rotten down the right-hand side, and probably down the left as well. I just haven't looked there yet. These hours could go into the SM, into the DS, whatever. Well, not a DS. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm just, thinking out loud. Thank you for watching, and I'll try and make most of the videos not quite as rambly or chaotic as this one. Anyone want to buy a rusty S-Max?